This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Parrott, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast.
Diggity dang, it's another episode of the Nightwing news.
Yes.
I still got to cut you out of the episode, get your clip of you, but
It's okay.
I figured that would work.
As long as you're saying duty dank is a step in the right direction.
Diggity dang, welcome back to the newest episode of the Nightwing news. I am Phil. That kangaroo lover over there is
Kristen, hello.
And tonight we are discussing two classic issues. Nightwing 25 and Detective Comics 725, which I believe will take them in that order, even though the Detective is cover dated a month before the Nightwing one. But there's something in the story that gets said that leads me to believe the Nightwing one's supposed to come first. I think maybe it was a scheduling thing. I don't know.
Who knows?
But before we jump into those, I looked up right before we got on. I wanted to see when Nightwing 72 comes out, the next issue, July 14th.
All right.
So.
Awesome.
Oh, you'll get home just in time to get Nightwing.
That's right. Hey, perfect.
She planned it that way. I must be home from vacation in time to get the newest issue, even though she could buy it digitally.
That's right. Priorities.
Even though she could get it digitally anywhere in the world, but still.
This is true.
But yes, Joker War is starting, and spoiler alerts for those of you who didn't get Batman 93 last week, the Joker now has all of Bruce Wayne's money.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
How did that happen?
In the current storyline, leading up to Joker War, there was like a big thing. There was this big villain back in the day called it. This is when Dick was still Robin. There was this villain called the Designer who wanted to basically take over the city with Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman, and Joker. And he had everything planned out until he started talking to the Joker, and then he freaked out and just wanted to kill all the villains, but they killed him. And they just revealed, Penguin was supposed to take over the mayor's office. Riddler was supposed to take over the cops after killing Gordon. Catwoman back then was supposed to hack into all Bruce Wayne's accounts and steal all his money. And then Joker was supposed to kill Batman and Robin, but I guess Joker didn't want to kill Batman and Robin.
So instead, he took over Catwoman's role and stole his money instead.
Well, once I guess Joker tried to get the plans back up and running, Catwoman, who's now, with Batman, was like, oh, I got to protect Bruce's money. So she kind of tried to hack it just to protect the money, get it out of the way. But after knocking out Harley, Punchline, Joker's new sidekick, comes in and basically hijacks the transfer. Now, I forget how many billions they said Joker has now, but yes, Joker has Bruce Wayne's fortune. Bruce Wayne's fortune.
Wow, see, this is why people keep money in mattresses under their beds.
That's right.
Because then you'd see that Joker coming, and you'd say, step off my mattress. Plus, it would be exceedingly hard to carry away billions of physical dollars. I mean, do you know how much money that is?
And again, it's not like he has a giant subterranean hole under his house where he can keep billions of dollars. Oh, wait, he does.
Yeah, that's true. He could keep gold bars in that cave.
Seriously, no matter what he keeps down there, only a handful of people in the world know that cave's even there. Although, I guess, we weren't sure. We knew Joker knows everyone else's identity, but yes, Joker knows who Bruce is, so.
Or he could keep some of his money in the cave and some of his money up at the Watchtower, which is not even on this earth.
Fortress of Solitude.
Right, yeah. He has lots of opportunities to diversify. You know what? We're probably going to find out that's what Bruce has secretly done. That the Joker thinks he's stolen Bruce's money, but it turns out Bruce actually has huge piles of gold bars stashed away at the Fortress of Solitude, and Superman brings them to him.
I just predicted at Batman 100, Batman's just gonna be like, you know what? It was a trap. I wanted you to steal that money.
Yes, and now I'm gonna take it back.
That's right.
I'm sure it'll all work out in the end.
I'm sure it will. Oh, but was it last week? Either last week or the week before, the new issue of Batgirl came out, and like the last page, she comes home, and guess who's standing behind the door, her apartment door, waiting for her? Joker.
Joker? Oh, it is Joker or Joker?
Yeah, it's Joker. No, it's Joker.
That's no good. And that's it? That's how it ended?
Yep. Because it wasn't an official Joker War tie-in, so I thought maybe the next issue is the Joker War tie.
Oh, man. That's sneaky.
He's getting around, man. He's showing up in Nightwing, Batgirl. He was in Batman's issue.
No, Joker might have the ability to fly. He's like zipping around town.
Oh, you get an Oscar, man. It gives you like magical powers.
No, for sure. Dang. Well, speaking of things you could zip around on.
Oh, nice.
Nightwing 25 features a form of transportation.
I know. That cover's kind of misleading because just look Dick and Tim running on like broken steel beams, but no.
I wonder if they're supposed to be broken railroad ties.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't look like they're coming out of buildings though, or
yeah, but I'm wondering up at the top, doesn't it kind of like the stuff arching over them kind of looks like a broken railroad?
Maybe. But I love how.
But yeah, this cover does also kind of remind me of Vlad the Impaler, because as you look out, it's just these things sticking out that like you could just go stick some bodies on there.
But yes, Nightwing 25 from October 1998.
Ooh, check out this sweet advertisement. Halloween H2O.
20 years later, which was, and so 20 years later, 22 years ago.
Wow. Dang. Making us feel old, Phil. Making us feel old.
How do you think Jamie Lee Curtis feels?
Hey, snap. Speaking of, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it. Our fake Robin.
Our fake Robin. Oh, yeah.
All right. So the fun part of this is a Dick and Tim being bros issue.
I know the first page is just all black and them talking. It's like, where are they at? But yes, I guess Dick is training Tim. They're riding on top of this train blindfolded.
Yeah. Seems pretty intense, but also totally seems like something the Bats would do.
Picture the scene. We slow our descent and leap right.
Dick does a flip. Tim is kind of like, boom, smacks on his butt. But hey, you know what? He made it, and that's what counts.
Barely. He almost falls off. He's like hanging on by a battering.
Yeah. But
yeah, I guess this was this Bruce's idea? Because he's like, you did this when you were Robin? Yeah, but I was a couple years younger than you.
I know. It does kind of crack me up when they put that in. But I weirdly sort of like it since it's during the 90s that they're really pushing Tim, I feel like, as Whiz Kid. So it's always nice when they remind us that Dick is special too.
Yes. But yeah, then Dick has him like standing on one leg, It's good. It's good for your balance.
Yeah, it's kind of like yoga.
Then he's like, listen to the traffic, try to pick where we're at. And I guess it's the Bellows interchange north of Bloodhaven.
But probably the best is this page right here.
Oh, yeah.
Where Tim's, I've been kind of busy with Tim Drake stuff. And then he says, my girlfriend's pregnant, and Nightwing almost falls off the train.
I know, like, whoops. You mean Ariana? No, you remember the spoiler? Wow, and you know some other guy.
It's safe. But yes, it does seem fair enough advice. Maybe you should avoid a relationship that complicated. She's going to have a baby. She's a vigilante. Her dad is Clue Master. And then this. What?
Here comes the discussion we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Exactly. And then he's like, oh, you pick an alien, a goddess, a murderer, a suspected murderer, your landlady, Batgirl. You little twerp, which is funny. And then Corey, but I don't know. I mean, like, why would you justify Corey? I mean, he says, answer to need. I had that time for affection. You were on a team with Corey. You should never have to justify dating Starfire. She's awesome.
Oh, heck no. Like the teenage boy needs explanation why you would date Starfire.
Right.
I mean, they almost got
like
married.
What?
They almost got married. It's not like
right. Just like you should never have to justify dating Barbara Gordon. Come on.
Right.
He said, like, Starfire and Barbara Gordon, like, no, you never need to justify dating those two women. They're awesome and will kick your butt.
That's right.
And then Donna, he could have given a better answer here. He's like, Donna and I, we just, like, no, you never dated Donna. Donna's like your sister. That's gross, Tim.
That's what I should have said, yeah.
I know, exactly. So Dixon didn't do the best answer there. Because you wasn't a murderer. Also, you went on one date. Emily, right? Okay, yeah, that was the case. That should have been an Elseworld. Clancy and I are just friends. Barbara. Okay, that's right. I was wrong. And then he says, not getting involved with Huntress. That was dumb.
Huh?
And so then Tim's like, wait, what? Huntress?
Dick's like, Tunnel. What? Tunnel.
So Dick kind of put his foot in his mouth there. With that.
but yeah, both Dick and Tim know her identity. Does Batman know? I never told him. That's our little secret, huh?
I'm sure he knows. He probably knows, doesn't he?
Or remember in the animated series, in that episode where they showed how Dick quit being Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he's like, the Joker's, has that whole radar jammer, he's going to make the planes crash, and they're trying to call Dick and he's not picking up, and Batman's like, he needs backup. So Barbara's there. He's like, you can help me right back, girl. And she's like, how do you know? I make it my business to know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he knows.
Yes.
But then I do also like Helena. We broke it off early. Why? There's about a million reasons. One, of course, is that she kind of dumped me. It was funny because it's actually true. Dumped sounds pretty harsh, but she was kind of like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, but I love Dick's like, is that your hobby, figuring out secret identities? And Tim's like, that is how I got the job, remember?
So I guess, yeah, it is, in fact. Invading privacy is his hobby.
Yep. And then something big and heavy hits the train in front of them.
And he's like, you can't take the blindfold off.
Yeah.
Just because something hit the train.
Dick almost falls off, and he's like, climbs back up. This is crazy. I'm taking off the blindfold. No, you can't change the rules.
Yep.
We can
talk about Jason. And then Dick's like, sure, I'm scared of failing. Sometimes of dying.
Oh, yeah, because they talk about Jason. Do you think about him? Yeah. But Tim's like, sometimes I think I go too far the other way, too cautious. You and Batman are fearless. And Dick's like, we fooled you too, huh?
Yep. Well, they say being brave is not being fearless. It's being afraid and just doing it anyway.
But yeah, he's like, you get scared mostly of failing, sometimes of dying. I'm human. And Batman, I'm not sure what scares him. Maybe he's driven by his fears.
But we know what scares him. He's afraid of people dying as well.
Yeah, and again, it's Gotham's in ruins right now because of the earthquake.
Yeah, Bruce is afraid of people dying. He's afraid of getting too close to someone and that they will die.
Well, yeah, Dick says, let's face it, you, me, and Alfred are closer to him than anyone in the world, and we can't say we really know him.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on that because, they do, but yeah, they also don't. I get it, but we might be pushing.
I think it's just, Bruce doesn't share his feelings.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. All right, I would like to know on the other one where he says, geez, he even died a couple of times himself. So when are the times that Bruce has died at this point?
At this point, I don't know if it's a literal death, because there was the Bane snapped his back and stuff, but he didn't actually die.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of like, and then because Tim's like, and he always comes back. I'm like, well, but he isn't like died for 15 years here.
Oh, but then we see a bunch of, I guess, hijackers are down on the train.
Oh man, did you see what they're stealing? VCRs.
Man, these will be worth a lot in like 10, 20 years.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But Dick says he thought about quitting a couple times, and Tim says same here. Dick's like, I'm not sure he's ever thought of that. I think he did right after Bane broke him. He was going to hang up the cowl. That's right. He was going to quit when he came back to Gotham, but then he saw what a mess Jean Paul made of everything.
Yeah, because that was a dumb move to do him.
Well,
pick him. And then, we get a fight. And because Robin and Nightwing are so awesome, they beat those guys up without even taking off their blindfolds.
That's right. Oh, I love this. I love when Dick says, what would he do if he quit? Be Bruce Wayne for the rest of his life? He doesn't even like Bruce Wayne.
I know. Bruce kind of doesn't. Although, I think we've talked about this before. I feel like there are 3 Bruce Waynes. There's the fake Bruce Wayne, like Brucey Wayne, and there's Batman, and then there's real Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, like a myth.
I don't necessarily buy it when people say Bruce Wayne is fake and Batman is the real Bruce Wayne. To an extent, Batman is less fake than Brucey Wayne is, but I think there's a real dude in the middle.
Yeah, I think it's just when they say, there's no real Bruce Wayne, it's just that, he's thinking Batman thoughts 24/7.
Yeah.
It's just, there's nothing else in his head. It's either protect the city, how do I protect my partners? Oh, man. We bring up Jason Todd, and of course, one of these guys swinging crowbars.
Well, how else are they going to get the train open? But
that's true. It just like...
Then this is what you were talking about. All right, that's funny. Who is the one that? Tim is the one that says "lost my train of thought." That feels like such a Dick joke, though. I got confused.
Dick joke.
Well, he has those cheesy jokes.
I know. But yeah,
things I love. Yes, this is what you were talking about. Dick says there aren't many honest cops in Bloodhaven. I took the department exam.
Yep.
Bloodhaven says you a cop.
Yep. He says Bloodhaven needs more than a vigilante.
This is true.
Work from the inside.
Yes, and this is interesting. I appreciate that his reason for becoming a cop is to clean it up from the inside and not like, I want to bust heads. I'm going to become a cop.
I mean, it's a story point, but it's like, why would a cop be any more successful in a town this corrupt?
This is true.
I mean,
but I wonder if he thinks that if he's a cop, then he has an easier time getting information.
Maybe, yeah.
And so then he'll have an easier time taking the people out.
Yeah, but because Tim asked him, "Did you tell Batman yet?" Not yet, because he tells him in the Detective Comics issue, which we're about to get to.
Yep. I suppose the other thing is, if Bloodhaven is so corrupt, which it is, you might as well, try as many different ideas as you have.
That's right.
And then boom! This cracks me up. This picture of Tim.
The train takes the bend. Yeah.
He's like.
So Dick snags him.
Does this happen to you? Sure, except Batman snagged me by the ankle.
Yeah.
And they jump over.
I love it. It's like, what now? We go home. Oh, thank God. How? I hear northbound freight coming. Tim, oh no.
Oh.
So they have to jump on the other train. You adjusted for the combined speeds, right? Tim just like
flat
cartwheel. Just like somersaults down the train. That was a dirty trick.
Yep. And then there's the most brother thing of all at the end. When he's like, what's the deal with you and Barbara? There is no deal. Come on. I don't know what you're talking about. Come on. No. I tell Batman about you and Huntress. What? That's like so brother right there.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. I want you to tell me something. If you don't tell me what I want you to tell me. I'm gonna get you in trouble with Dad.
So the next one, Detective 725, like I said, it's cover dated September 98. The Nightwing one was October, but just from what the conversation, this has to take place after, yeah. But both written by Chuck Dixon, so if you see similarities, that's because it was written by the same.
I know, Chuck Dixon must have been writing darn near everything in the 90s in the Batman family.
Well, at this point, yeah, I think he was writing Detective, Nightwing, Robin, I think.
Yeah, he wrote Robin for a long time. I mean, because he was writing Robin before he wrote Nightwing. Well, and then when Birds of Prey got started, didn't he write that too?
Was he in the beginning? Maybe. Yeah, I know at some point I think he was. Yeah. And he was writing Green Arrow for a while too.
Damn.
Yeah. So, yes, this is part of Aftershock. After the earthquake is hit and before the U.S. government cuts all ties with Gotham.
Right. I mean, that's another reason why Nightwing 25 must take place earlier is because he's in Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
It's him.
But look, we start with a flashback.
Yeah. Woo-woo.
Them.
Flashback continues. The good old days where we busted heads.
And they were fighting a gang of
I know,
criminals.
this is a fun villain. It looks like something bowling themed.
That's like a giant bowling alley with like giant pins.
Yeah, and they have those groovy checkered suits. Pretty snazzy, if you ask me.
I guess they want like a Batman 66 vibe there.
Yeah, it does really feel like it for sure.
But yes, the good old days gone forever, remember? Of course, Bruce. I don't think it was ever as easy as you make it out, Nightwing.
It's like, whatever.
Compared to what?
So I imagine he's right to a certain extent. I mean, punching people is way easier than rebuilding a city.
Yeah, because they're saying about Gotham's back to the Stone Age, and people are just like fighting over whatever they can get.
Oh, that's rude to the Stone Age, though.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess people are starting riots over water now. So here they come in their monster truck.
I know, and then he sprays them with poop.
What's that? What is it? What is this? It smells like turpentine and cow poop. Actually, it's turpentine and guano because
So penguin poop.
I thought it was bat poop.
Oh, I thought guano was just like bird poop in general.
Oh, maybe.
Let's look it up.
But I mean, hey, if bats count, he's got an unending supply.
Oh, it's both. We're both right, Phil.
Oh.
Guano is the excrement of seabirds and bats used as fertilizer. So there we go.
Well, I would bet it's bats because he has an unending supply under his house.
That's true. But maybe he went to the Iceberg Lounge and scooped up a little guano from there, too.
Oh, that's what they meant when they said the guano hit the fan at the Iceberg Lounge. Okay.
Yep.
So yes, they spray down the looters. It's also a die. The police will know who participated. And maybe
although I don't think those people should be arrested.
I mean, unless someone, if someone got injured, if they're like, hey, someone got injured. But yeah, Dick's like, it's all starting to fall apart, isn't it? And Bruce is like, Gotham's always walked a thin line, Nightwing. They're in the car. I can't call him Dick.
No, it's bad habit.
I know.
You know how Bruce is.
But yeah, power's out to half the city. Clean water's rationed. Fires burn out of control. At least 1 million homeless. Thousands more leaving every day. And there's still Blackgate escapees.
It's intense. And then here we have it revealed. Bruce earthquake proofed everything.
Oh, yeah.
Earthquake proof. Although one thing that's interesting, and I find, so with this, Gotham, having bad times and this kind of stuff. So at that year and some change ago, when we went to that Batman conference at Bowling Green,
yes,
someone gave a talk about how, I mean, I do agree, but I still love Batman, about how really, Batman being a billionaire is kind of a problem because he could probably solve most of these problems by just redistributing wealth in Gotham instead of punching people. But one of the things that she mentioned was here in Aftershock or No Man's Land, or whatever it is, that Lex Luthor comes in at the end and buys up a bunch of stuff, and that's kind of presented as bad because he's buying it cheaply, but he buys the stuff and then rebuilds it. And they're like, why the frick didn't Bruce Wayne buy this stuff and rebuild it?
I mean, yeah. Well, I remember Lex came in and tried to like blow up like the Hall of Records and stuff, and tried to like obliterate all the records. So like, yeah, so like no one knew who owned what. So yeah, Lex could buy it up all cheap and stuff. And I mean, he was breaking the law, but yeah, I don't think it was just Lex's money, because I was gonna say I don't know if Bruce would have had enough, because they literally pretty much had to rebuild the entire city. Because I think the government, once Lex started coming in, I think the government threw in money too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, yeah, I might be paraphrasing it not quite right because it's been a while since I read it, but it was an interesting point that Bruce Wayne has a lot of money as well, and he potentially could have done this kind of stuff, and he could have, like bought up and rebuilt the blocks, and then like made it affordable housing or whatever. Anyway, it was interesting.
Well, they kind of played it too, where like there was like powers at work in Washington who like secretly wanted Gotham shut down. I mean, that story really didn't go anywhere, but because it was like the Nicholas Scratch character who like they kind of played like, oh, is he the devil? And it's like, meanwhile, I think Azrael took him out in an issue of his book that tied into No Man's Land. It's like, yeah, no.
The guy's name was Nicholas Scratch.
Well, what it's like name. I forget. It was like they kind of like played with like, is he the devil? Because I guess he used to be, was he like an astronomer or something? And all of a sudden he got hit with some light while looking at the stars one night, and then like overnight supposedly he became like this big popular figure. He even became like a rock star and stuff. It was very weird.
That is weird, and clearly they did not do adequate investigation into witchcraft and sorcery.
Yeah, no.
You don't become the devil just by looking at the stars. You got to conjure that stuff up.
And like
you gotta follow your Latin. Gotta follow your Latin spells and draw the right things on the ground.
Like
Make those demons your servants.
Yeah, it really didn't go anywhere because it's like, yeah, like I said, Jean Paul took him out in a issue of Azrael, and then he came back after the city was rebuilt, but he basically just stayed like an Azrael villain.
Cool. Anyway, Bruce angsting about his city again. And then Dick's like, you should get a boat. How does Batman not have a boat already? Maybe his boat got crushed in the earthquake, and so now he needs a new boat.
That's true.
Surely he has a boat. He had a boat.
But yeah, because we just see Batman. We had flashbacks of Batman. Bruce getting bad news from Lucius, and then Batman getting bad news from Gordon.
Yep, it's all bad news.
Yep.
And then,
Batman telling Dick, he thought the city would be here long after he was gone, but now it looks like it's the other way around.
True enough. And then we get to the big moment.
Oh.
It says, I'm going to become a cop. And Bruce is like, oh yeah, that's a great disguise. And he's like, no, not pretend. For real.
Yes, dude is Dick Grayson.
Yes. So what do you think? This is something that I always kind of wonder about because it comes up again in some later. Because I mean, this is just like him talking about it. He hasn't become. And I feel like they play it up because Bruce is not that objection. He doesn't have that intensive objections, I feel like, in this one. But then they kind of play it up more later on, I feel like, where he doesn't come to Dick's graduation or whatever. But so what do you think it is why Bruce doesn't? What are Bruce's main objections? He thinks it's too dangerous and he doesn't like Dick using a gun.
I think the biggest thing was the gun. And I think like to a lesser degree, it was just like, you're already a master. He even says here, you're already a master crime fighter. You're going to stand out. I don't know if he was worried about him like accidentally revealing his identity. But yeah, I think way at the top, number one was the gun, carrying the gun.
Yeah, which I get it, but also on the other hand, you know, in other things they've talked about how Bruce isn't a fan of guns, but he taught us not to fear guns and, you know,
Yeah.
that we have to know how to use a gun. It almost seems a little bit insulting. And so a part of me wonders if really what Bruce is afraid of is that now Dick will be in danger pretty much all the time. He'll be in
Yeah.
danger at his day job and his night job since Bloodhaven is so corrupt. And, you know, part of the reason he's going in is to get, I mean, he's really in danger because he's going in to get dirty cops. So he's in danger from his coworkers, which is generally not what happens in most people's jobs. So sometimes I wonder if the gun is what he focuses on because he's Bruce and he can't admit that his real fear is, I don't want to lose you.
Yeah, and I just wonder if it's like now, you know, Dick's like doubling the time he's going to be around like dangerous criminals and stuff. So,
yeah,
and I just wonder in Bruce's mind, his little phobia, if it's just like, you know, if he's carrying a gun, there's more likely bullets going to be flying at him if he's carrying a gun too.
Yeah, could be, but I don't know. It kind of feels like in some of the other ones, he's just fixating on the gun to be a jerk. Because to a certain extent, it kind of feels like it's a little bit insulting because he doesn't trust Dick. He's like, "You'll be wearing a gun." And Dick's like, "I'm working on that." Like, I mean, he says how he toned that down, but he says, "I'm working on that." He should trust him more because because it feels like in this one, he's kind of like, "Okay, I've registered my objection. You say you're working on it. Sounds good." But then later on, he's like, your gun. I can't believe you brought that to the cave. And he's like, look, dude.
I don't know if like here, you know, Bruce has like a lot more to worry about, but then once No Man's Land is over and the city's rebuilt, you know, now he has more free time on his hands.
Could be. Like I said, I choose to headcanon it that Bruce focuses on the gun because he's scared that Dick will get hurt now that he's fighting crime all day, every day. And so he just focuses on the gun because he can't admit to his emotions. So he just focuses on the gun because he's like, oh, I can get mad at you about the gun instead of admitting, don't die. I'll be so sad. Which is what he really should.
So they're talking more about the city, and then Dick asks him if he's ever gonna give it up, and Batman says, "I'll be too old someday if I'm lucky." Batman Beyond.
Yeah, and then he's like, I was a leader for years and it nearly tore me apart. You like operating alone? Yeah, I don't know how you stood the strain of responsibility. I don't know. I feel like whatever. I'm just nitpicking here. You don't have to go so far as to say I couldn't stand the strain of responsibility. I mean, just because you are good at leading a team doesn't mean that you don't want to work alone sometimes either.
Exactly.
It's kind of like during this quarantine. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's great that I can't leave my house to see anybody because I'd really just rather sit on my couch and read comic books. But sometimes you think, oh my God, I really need to get out of this house and interact with another human being.
Why?
Because sometimes you just need to, Phil.
I know. Sorry, I'm used to working with people who say stuff like
caring for another human being that isn't myself.
Oh, that was a good way to slide that in there. That was very organic.
Nice. I know.
Job. And then this is what you previewed last week for everyone, where you said there was going to be something that makes Kristen so happy.
Oh wait. Let's set this up because first, Dick's like, I don't know how you stood the responsibility of me and Tim and Bruce like, you could say his name, Jason. He's like, all right, here's the first good part. He's like, I ignored the warning signs. I was arrogant to think I could turn him into you because you are special.
Yes, although also, yes, arrogant, but also don't try to turn kids into other kids.
Exactly.
Some bad parenting / bad mentoring right there.
Yeah, but then he asked him about Jean Paul. He's like, you thought you could turn him into you. And Bruce was like, he was driven. I didn't know it was by madness. And Dick says, you didn't think I was good enough to be you? And Batman says,
you're better than me, Dick.
That's right.
And then Dick says, what did you say?
Can you repeat that, please, into this microphone?
Yeah. Really, I need to record this. Let me get out my Walkman and my cassette tape since it's 98 and record this. Let me put this on a VHS.
Let me get out my big cell phone, pull the antenna up.
Let me pull out my video camera that's like this gigantic. It's like, stick the whole thing in. Batman says, it's like you said, half of your life isn't a masquerade. I'll always be Batman. I've left myself nothing else. Last page. No, wait, not last page. Pen ultimate. No, not even pen. Yes.
Yeah, Robin became an extension.
Near the end.
Yeah, Robin
became an extension of who you are. Nightwing even more so. For me, the mantle of the Bat has become a hiding place. And I like that. And I do think that that's an important difference that, yes. And that's part of why I always advocate that there are 3 Bruce Waynes. Brucey Bruce Wayne, Batman Bruce Wayne, and the real Bruce Wayne that's in the middle, because he's, Bat has become a hiding place. Yes, it's more real to him than Brucey Wayne, but there's still more to him than being Batman. Whereas I think for Dick, honestly for a lot of the Robins, I think for Tim too, yes, being Robin, then being Nightwing, being Robin, then being Red Robin, then being Drake, is more. There's not as much of a difference between their personas. They are who they are. They're not as much as a mask. They're not as fake. I don't know. They're more real. They're the same person. They're pretty much the same person all the time. It's just, you play up slightly different things.
But yeah.
I guess for like Tim and Dick and stuff, it's more like the way all of us are, as opposed to Bruce, where it's much more obviously bifurcated, where he's so much more obviously faking who he is. All of us, you modify your behavior a little bit. I mean, you're not the same as you. When you hang out with your friends, you don't behave exactly the same way as you do when you hang out with your grandma. And you're still you. But you're not being fake either time. You're just,
Yeah, Bruce just shut everything down when his parents died, and he never really learned how to let people in.
Yeah. So Dick is like Dick when he's with his grandma, and Nightwing is Dick when he's with his friends.
Nice.
Well, I mean, come on, you can't beat people up when you're with your grandma. That's just rude. Well, I mean, I guess you could if they're making fun of your grandma or something. Then. Or if they're trying to steal your grandma's purse or something, then bam.
Don't you touch my grandma.
Exactly.
Nice.
And then Dick's like, Bruce. Bruce's like, no regrets. I'd make the sacrifice all over again in a heartbeat.
That's right.
Because they're like reaching out, almost reach out, touch somebody. And then Bruce is like, gunfire. Dick's like, thank God. We can stop having these feelings and we can go punch some skills.
Ooh, racist, because the white wolves, and it looks like it says Aryan on the back of their vest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What does say white? Right. Well, those people extra deserve to get beaten up.
So, someone who deserves to get punched in the face. Here we go.
Yeah. Also, it looks like the one guy's mask says Satan on it.
I don't.
I mean, it says Tan, T-A-N. I mean, feels like Satan would be the first part of that.
Maybe it's like a hockey mask. Yeah, I don't know. So the issue ends with them leaping into the fight.
Heck yeah, because Batman says maybe those days aren't gone forever. Because it's like, yeah, let's bust some heads.
Yeah.
Remember, and then you have a little background.
Nice.
Old-timey Batman and Robin. And there you go. Beautiful story.
Yeah, I mean, they're both good, but I like the cover of this Detective Comics.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So, yeah. Awesome. Got a nice little talk with Tim, and then we got a nice little talk with Bruce.
Yeah, just feelings all over the place, man. Brother feelings, father-son feelings. Wow. So many feelings.
I know you like the feelings when it comes to
I do love the feelings. Feelings are my favorite.
I need to cut that into a clip. Feelings are my favorite. Just trying to pull up the schedule here. I'm pretty sure I know what we're going next couple weeks, but let me bring it up so I don't give out any false info.
That's right.
All right. Yes.
Lies.
This is already episode 48. That is right. Next week, you were right. Episode 49 will be Nightwing 26 through 30 when Huntress comes to town, plus Birds of Prey number 8.
Oh, wow. I think there's a Superman one, too. Hold on. Let me grab one from the other room to display.
Oh, yeah. That's the number 30. Hold on.
Oh, wow. All of these are next week?
Yeah. I mean,
26,
yeah.
27, 28, 29. Ooh, both of them looking a little worse for wear there. Someone's been artfully cutting their costumes. And then 30, which
30,
has
Superman.
soups. And then Birds of Prey.
I'm going to have to go digital on Birds of Prey. Yeah, I don't have a paper copy of Birds of Prey number 8.
Well, it's pretty great. Also,
So, maybe the 26 through 29 we'll do. I mean, we won't go page by page. Maybe we'll just do like an overview and then we'll hit the 30 and then the Birds of Prey.
yeah, I was going to say, I would be more interested in 30 and Birds of Prey.
Yeah. I mean, we could get in quickly and he runs into the Huntress again.
Yes. Also, every single one of these is written by Dixon. Again, Birds of Prey written by Dixon. How did the man have time to get any sleep?
And then the 3 weeks after that, because the week after that, episode 50 is Gotham Knights 8 through 11. Episode 51 is Gotham Knights 14 and 17. And episode 52 is Gotham Knights 20 and 21, all written by Devin Grayson, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
So, yeah, so we got a couple weeks of Dixon. Then we're going to have a couple weeks of Grayson. Oh, episode 53, Batman and Nightwing, Bloodborne, and Batman 615 in the middle hush.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
And then episode 54, Outsiders 1 through 3.
Oh, the dark years.
I don't know. There was like one page from, was it the first issue or the second issue? Like, just, I always stuck with me, just him leaping out of the plane. And they're like, wait, so our leader's the pretty boy who just jumped out of the plane?
Hey, he knows what's up.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's one other thing. This kind of brings up, I think things have changed a little bit recently. I don't know, you probably know better. But it seems like in the 90s and 2000s, you had people writing the same comic for a long time. I mean, because Dixon wrote Nightwing for like 50 issues or something, right? And then Devin Grayson wrote Nightwing for like 50 issues or something. And then
Dixon wrote over 50. I'm trying to remember. Dixon might have wrote maybe 70, maybe, because I think Devin Grayson might have taken over at like 71 maybe or something. So I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have them.
Yeah.
Here, but I mean,
wrote 70. Devin Grayson might have, what was it, like 71 to 117 or something. I mean, she probably, if she didn't write 50, she wrote pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, she wrote a big chunk too. And then it was kind of after her, then they kind of kept getting more different people. And then I guess when the New 52 started, didn't Higgins write pretty much all of Nightwing, or did he only write like the first half and then they bumped?
I think he wrote most of the issues. I don't know if he wrote that final issue, but I think he wrote pretty much all. The final one. I think besides that one, I think he wrote all of them up until Grayson started. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and then I guess they had the same guys who wrote. Who wrote Grayson, but then it kind of feels like since he came back with Rebirth, he's kind of been bounced around.
Well, in Grayson, who was it? It was Tom King and
Tim Seeley.
Tim Seeley, and then for Rebirth, I mean, Tim Seeley wrote that for, is it like 20 some issues, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because there's Rebirth when Tom King took over Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. He's still, well, I was gonna say he's still there, but no, he wrote 80 some issues of Batman for Rebirth.
That's a lot.
Yep.
So I guess maybe they are kind of sticking with it again. But yeah, I don't know. In the 90s and 2000s, maybe it was you had a lot of people writing a lot of different Bat books because Dixon was writing, Detective and Robin and Nightwing and Birds of Prey for a while. And then, I don't know, he went off to do something else. And then Devin Grayson was writing Nightwing at least. And she was also writing Batman Gotham Knights.
Well, I think
I don't know if she ever wrote Robin. That might have been something. I think that
Devin Grace. I don't think so. Yeah, no. But yeah, I think it's always been a hallmark of like the comic industry. Not only do they look for good writers, they look for people who can like handle multiple titles at the same time.
Sure, I mean that makes sense because I imagine that honestly you would not make very much money if you only wrote one. Like I don't think that could be your full-time job if you were like, I write Nightwing, like what you write one 20-page comic once a month. I mean, not to say that that's not, doesn't require work, obviously, but I imagine that like they wouldn't pay you that much for that.
Yeah, because I don't know. Does the writer get paid by the page? Because I know the artist, I think, gets paid by the page.
I don't know. Maybe next time if we get a writer on, we'll ask.
Well, yeah, Devin said she might join us when we talk Nightwing 93, which I think is episode 55. So yeah, so if we get her on here, we'll be like, hey, how do you get paid?
Right, yeah. I mean, unless they're on salary or something, but I don't know. It feels like they probably get royalties.
Yeah.
And stuff. Well, actually, no probably about it. They do get royalties because that was another thing I learned at the Batman conference is you get royalties when you. So I wonder, and this sounds very crass and tedious, but I do wonder if that's part of it. Of course, if you invent a character, like you get royalties for that character when they appear in other media. So like whoever it was that invented Harper. So okay, Harper was in the comics and stuff, but then when Harper was in Young Justice, like he got money for that.
Ooh.
Because that was the thing, because it was
I think that was Scott Snyder who created Harper, I think.
Yes, that wasn't the guy who was at Mike Barr. I think it was Mike Barr he wrote a bunch of stuff in the 80s. He was at the conference and he was talking about writing Batman and stuff like that. And he mentioned that one of the characters he created, like Kid Devil or Blue Devil or somebody Devil, I think, had been in Young Justice. And he was saying that he kind of, wasn't totally thrilled with the interpretation that they were giving Kid Devil. But at the same time, he got money for it. So he was like, well, okay. So there you go.
There you go.
So yeah, George Perez and Marv Wolfman should be like, yeah, you should put Nightwing in more things because
yes, true.
Because that's how they do it. Because it's always like Nightwing invented by
So they get paid for, I guess, for Nightwing. Because I was going to say they didn't create Dick Grayson, but they created Nightwing.
They create yeah, and that's how they do. And that's how they do it is you get some kind of royalty based on. I mean, I'm pretty sure they do it. They do it based on the superhero.
So they were probably as happy as we were when he showed up at the end of season 2 of Titans. They're like, oh, thank God, finally.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Although that being said, I guess they get credit for Nightwing because they, turned Dick into Nightwing. But Marv Wolfman also created Tim Drake. So I guess.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that first wrote it. So
that's true.
So maybe that's another reason why they wanted John Paul Valley to be Batman. It's because then somebody got to invent a new character and get royalties.
I think Denny O'Neil might have wrote. I think it was Denny O'Neil writing. I think Azrael, and it was like Joe Quesada, who's over at Marvel now, was the artist. I think.
Yeah. Well, and of course that's the other thing is fans are you know, I mean, I know you read both, but there are some fans who are like, oh, DC or Marvel. But I mean, if you're gonna work in the industry, you have to do both because
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I mean for since the beginning. It's like if you're not working for DC anymore, it's like you either go over to Marvel or you go to like one of the smaller companies. But it's like Marvel and DC probably.
well, and I
pay more.
assume some of them could potentially, depending on how you're getting paid. I mean, if it's being paid like an independent contractor, you could feasibly be working for both at the same time.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know if they do that now, but I think there's people back in the day who were doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I mean, because you like these characters, but number one priority is getting a paycheck so you can have a roof over your head and food on your table. So
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's just kind of funny because fans are so like, "What's your company?" And it's creators like, "I'll write anybody because I want to have a career."
All right. Anything else?
No, I think it's time to go. People are setting off fireworks in my
Oh,
neighborhood.
I was gonna say someone's knocking on the door. Okay.
Yeah, no, people are setting off fireworks. I better go check, make sure it's not. I don't need to dive into action.
I was gonna say the Aryan Brotherhood's shooting up the Kristen's neighborhood, so we gotta go.
They better not.
Oh,
I mean, I am not a fighter. Like, come on, look at this fist. Wait, and I'm not even sure if I'm making the fist right. What does Dick say? No, you do want your thumb on the outside, right?
yes, yeah, because you can
Okay.
break your thumb if you keep it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you learn things from comics, kids. Because definitely, I will straight up admit, until I read that comic, I made a fist like this. Dick Grayson taught me how to not break my thumb.
Kristen's like, how do you point this thing?
Yeah. Which way do you? Yeah, actually, which way would you? Which way is better for punching? This way or this way?
Because you want to hit with the two biggest knuckles. That's like the hardest part. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Hold your hand up. I can't see it, Phil. You gotta hold it up higher.
Yeah, like your pointer and your.
Okay, so not up and down. Sideways.
Yeah, no, I mean, you want to kind of like twist it up and just yeah.
Okay, well, let's hope I never have to get.
Somebody got their black belt in Taekwondo.
Oh, nice. Well, let's hope I never get into a fight because I'm going down.
Stand still so I can thrash you, fellows.
No, I'll pull a Batman 66. You can't hit someone with glasses.
I thought you were gonna be like, I hit you. Where's the sound effect?
Oh, yeah, well, that would also be nice. Pow! Splat!
Hold on, my hero shows his legs when he kicks people. I must. All right. So yes, again, thank you for joining us. Send your thoughts on these issues. The upcoming. Again, we got a lot of issues next week. Send your thoughts on those. Any fighting tips for Kristen? Email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Nightwing News on Facebook, Twitter. Follow all the Capes and Lunatics links all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And remember to support our sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer. That's right. It's a Hunt a Killer game. Be like Batman and Nightwing. And go on Amazon and check out. Go get Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. Volume 1 now available. And while you're buying books, go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. You're obviously a fan of Discerning Taste if you're a fan of Nightwing. So go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. I won't say the author is a great fighter, but it's a great knowledgeable force of Dick Grayson info. So when you pick up any of those books, go on Amazon, because you know you do, and use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help support this show, the network, and the crazy madman named Rob, Master Doom Southgate.
Go back and look at my history, and you will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong. Mark my words.
What the F?
Thank you, Ray.
Was that Ray that said that?
That was Ray, yes. I got feedback from him for an issue one day, and
what the F?
He was very shocked by something, yes. He's great.
Couple of balls down the gob.
What? A couple of bowls down the what?
Couple of balls down the gob.
Oh, okay.
It was Spider-Man. Anyway. Kristen's like, I don't know that jazz. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Again, come back next time. Nightwing 26 through 30. Birds of Prey number 8. Got lots of reading to do, so go read. You know you probably got a 3-day weekend.
Use your 3-day weekend, Jess.
That's right. We're recording this a couple days before 4th of July, so yeah, go do your reading. And if you're hearing this on the podcast, go read anyway.
Yeah, make it a 3-day weekend.
Make it a 3-day weekend. You should always be reading comics.
Weekend or not.
Support the industry and your brain. But yes, come back next time. Same wing time.
Same wing channel.
Nightwing News. Keep flying, Grayson.